Bonjour les fans de la course hippique, and it is the most important weekend of racing at Paris-Longchamp. Of course, Sunday features the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, Europe's richest flat race, but this whole weekend is full of the quality races. Do not miss a bit none, it is the very best of the very best. D'accord, let me not be beating about in the bush, I think you say, so here we go with Sunday's races. Perhaps Joseph O'Brien's Tennessee stud can win the Prix Chaudenay, and I think he is easy to back for me. With the brilliant Dylan Brown McMonagle coming back to Longchamp after running so well in the Prix Neil here last month, maybe this extra trip will be for him. So I will be hoping with all my heart Tennessee stud can be making me a winning start on Saturday. Of course, the Prix Neil is a recognised ARC trial, so with Qualificar scoring for me in that group too, this is a very, very good form line. D'accord, George Scott's Bay City Roller was ahead of Tennessee Stud in the Prix Neil, but he will be going in the Prix Dollar later on Saturday in the shorter race, so it can be Tennessee Stud to win, with Christophe Furlan's Espoir Avenir and Francis-Henri Graffard's Surabad to make the race of it. Now I must hand you over to Jaysellas for her Saturday nap at Newmarket.
Why, thank you, Marie-Francoise, and the very best of luck to you this weekend. I mean, you've been knocking out winners for fun during the Festival de Barrière-Deauville, and of course plenty of those are now going to feature this weekend. I did want to get on a podcast with Barney this week to follow up on our chat last weekend over the main players for Paris-Longchamp's Saturday and Sunday card, but time kinda ran away from us both with other commitments. Never mind, we'll be back in Studio 11 soon enough, so keep an eye on your notifications. So my Saturday nap isn't at Paris-Longchamp at all, but it's at Newmarket. And yowzy, what a race the Sun Chariot is this year. I mean, I do get it that Charlie Appleby is on home turf, so to speak, with Cinderella's Dream, but I'll gamble that Fallen Angel hasn't stopped getting better this term, so I'll take the chance on Carl Burke's Irish 1,000 guineas winner to take the feature. Now, I know that Fallen Angel didn't really fire in the 1,000 guineas here back in May on her first run of the season when she was sent off favourite, but she did win the Sweet Solera here as a 2-year-old, so has track form in the book to me. Now, Cinderella's Dream was last seen a very good fourth to Quisisana in the Prix Jean Romanet at Deauville, the one given to us by Marie-Francoise for that Group 1. So there is a strong form line to give some depth to this Sun Chariot, but I think Fallen Angel is even better this year as she goes for a hat-trick. Roger Varian's Lady of Spain doesn't seem to know how to lose, while Andrew Balding's Blue Bolt completes my list, but Fallen Angel is my Sun Chariot winner. Right, now we are back to Marie-Francoise for the rest of her French fancies.
Merci beaucoup, Jaysellas, and firstly, I must tell you of my next best, which is First Look. Oui, this Prix Dollar is such a very good race, but I think that First Look can win for this distance, and maybe the gelding he had will have helped him to concentrate. D'accord, but he is up against the very, very good Bay City Roller from George Scott's stable, who has Oisin Murphy to make the ride after a brilliant second in the Prix Neil behind my selection, Qualificar on that last run here. So, with John and Thadi Gosden's Damisus maybe coming to the boil, you say non? I think that this will be a very tough race, but I will have to trust Mikel Barcelona for the last of the group races on Saturday. So First Look, the very good second in the Prix du Jockey Club last year, I think is now the better horse, and he can win this for me. Earlier on, I will take my chance with Queenstown for the Prix du Cadran. Oui, this is the race that has been made good with all the late supplemented runners, and I will put my faith in Caroline and go with Queenstown. It would have been such a big shame to have had just the 3 starting for this Group 1, but with the addition of Caballo de Mar, Tashkan, Queenstown, Coetzee and Sacred Spirit, it is now the proper race, and maybe, just maybe, it will be Queenstown that likes this longer trip, with Christophe Soumillon, I think, to switch him off until the final 600 metres, but this will be if Queenstown has had enough time to recover from Sunday's Irish Cesarewitch. Caroline had said it was her each-way gamble, and at 25 to 1, it was a very, very good tip. Coltrane runs in many of these races, and with Oisin Murphy on him, makes it on my list, while George Scott's Caballo de Mar makes the most interesting of the other supplemented ones. Now, this is looking a very good race with the 8, but I think that it can be the skill of Christophe Soumillon to bring Queenstown home late. Later on, it must be useful known to see how Kudwa goes in this Prix Daniel Wildenstein, and his 6th place in the Prix du Moulin de Longchamp was a very, very fine run. Maintenant, I think maybe I will back Dreamliner to beat him this time, as it is Stéphane Wattel's young colt that does not seem to know how to lose just now. Of course, it was Dreamliner that I put onto our list for the Prix Quincy at Deauville, ahead of the big favourite My Cloud and Cicero's Gift, who ran well but didn't see out the race. André Fabre's Alcantor makes my list too, but I will stay with Dreamliner to win this. My final selection goes in the Prix de Royalou. Ooh la la, this is a very good race, but I must be having Latakia for this Group 1 for the fillies and mares. She was so good known in the Prix Alec Head for Francis-Henri Graffard, and that Group 2 I believe was her preparation for this, though this time Christophe Soumillon is taking the ride on Aidan O'Brien's bedtime story with his new role as number 1 rider, while Ryan Moore is on the sideline for Ballydoyle. D'accord, but Mikkel Barcelona is the best replacement, so will do the very fine job for me. It will be hard to beat Bedtime Story maybe, as she was just the 3 1/4 lengths behind Aventure in the Prix Vermeil, but maybe Latakia has more to come at this trip. A very exciting race-on between Latakia and Bedtime Story, with Santorini Star also must be in the mix, but Latakia I will follow.